What did what did Patrick Beverly say about the Cavs? Is it bad? Is it something stupid that's going to make me upset? I saw the Hoop Collective has really been dropping the ball here with some of these Evan Mobley takes. No one is scared of the Cavs. Yeah, that's really rich coming from Patrick Beverly. He's playing overseas already. His career's over. Dude was throwing the ball at fans last year in the playoffs. You guys remember that when he was throwing the ball at the fans in Milwaukee or something? Yeah, he got cut from the Israeli team. Like, the dude's a scrub. Sorry, but he's a bum. Patrick Beverly always kind of annoyed me because he is one of those players who talks so much trash but just absolutely cannot back it up. Like, he's had a couple games that were okay, I guess, but players like that annoy me. At least Draymond Green, when he talks shit, it's like, all right, well, you're genuinely like a Hall of Fame caliber player. When even when Dylan Brooks talks trash, it's like, okay, you're kind of out of your lane talking to LeBron, but I've seen you put up big games. You know, I've seen you score 30 points in playoff games and have big moments, so I can respect it a little bit. Patrick Beverly, it's like, dude, who the hell are you talking like this? Like, who are you? So I don't really care about Patrick Beverly. Hoop Collective, though. Hoop Collective, our friends over there, man, they got to get it together. They got to get it together. As much as I hate to say it, their opinions genuinely shape the narrative for these awards. Like, what they say on that podcast informs a lot of people across the league who unfortunately have a vote and don't watch the games they should watch and instead just listen to other people's opinions and then copy and paste it. And when you start spreading some just absolutely ridiculous takes, you're good. This is how you set the table for Draymond to win the award this year. And listen, Draymond is deserving of Defensive Player of the Year. Probably not this year, but he should have won a couple times in the past. I would have given him the award over Rudy Gobert a handful of times. But brother, Evan Mobley has been leading the race all year long. Let me rephrase that. He was second place to Victor Wembanyama all year long. Soon as Wemby went out, Evan Mobley and Jaren Jackson, it was kind of neck and neck. And then Mobley emerges as the favorite. And he's been in the race the entire year. Draymond Green wasn't even a thought for Defensive Player of the Year until like 2 days ago, until he complained on his podcast. Yeah, they said, I think it was Tim McMahon. So it's the other Tim, not Tim Bontemps this time, but Tim McMahon said that teams, and I will say, I will clarify, I haven't listened to the full clip, so I don't know what the rest of the context is. I usually like to, be a little more informed before I start commenting on things. So maybe they were more fair than I'm giving them credit for. Take that with a grain of salt. But he said something along the lines of teams are going to attack Mobley and try to target him in mismatches. Dude, Evan Mobley is not a mismatch. Evan Mobley is a mismatch the other way around. He is a mismatch for whoever thinks they're scoring on him. You're not targeting Evan Mobley. Now, you can try to force Evan Mobley into a switch and get him out on the perimeter and try to make him guard on the three-point line, not because you think Evan Mobley is easy to score on or because he's a vulnerability out there, but because if Evan Mobley's on the three-point line, that means he's not patrolling the paint, protecting the rim. And especially if it's a lineup that doesn't feature Jarrett Allen as well, then it's Evan Mobley on the three-point line with no one really on the backside who can protect the rim. Maybe a little bit of Dean Wade rim protection, maybe a little bit of DeAndre Hunter, but if it's not Jarrett Allen back there, then yeah, you want Evan Mobley on the three-point line because if you manage to get past him, there's no one back there to protect the rim. And as good as Evan Mobley is on the perimeter, like, listen, point of attack defense is the hardest thing to play in the entire NBA. The best point of attack defenders in the NBA are going to get blown by pretty frequently. Like, it's just too easy to get around people in basketball. So if you have Evan Mobley out there and you're able to get around him, then there's no one protecting the rim. So that's why you'll try to get him on a switch and bring him out to the three-point line, but it's not because you think Evan Mobley is barbecue chicken. And so Tim McMahon saying that and framing it that way is what I have an issue with. Is because, yeah, like if you're just pointing out the way teams are going to try and pull Mobley out, that's fair, that's valid. But if you're using it in the context of the Defensive Player of the Year race, it's like you're out of your mind. With all due respect, you're completely missing the point. They are not. No one is trying to go isolation on Evan Mobley because they think that's the easiest way to score is going one-on-one with Evan Mobley. They're just trying to get Evan Mobley out the paint because maybe Jarrett Allen's not on the floor. And even if he is, it's easier to score in the paint with one big down there rather than two. So it's just stupid. So stupid. People saw the play where James Harden managed to get around Evan Mobley. And it's like, yeah, he's James Harden. He's going to get around. You can put any defender in the world in front of James Harden, and there's like a 70% chance he's going to get around them. That's just who he is. He's one of the best ever at that. They completely ignore Evan Mobley, reaching Kevin Durant at his apex and blocking his shot in isolation. Like, it's just so silly, the discussions. and I tweeted this, but like, if you want to build the case for Draymond Green, because the Warriors have been a very good defensive team, they're actually slightly ahead of Cleveland in defensive rating, like just barely ahead of us. We're basically neck and neck with them. But if you want to make the case for Draymond, look, he's one of the most versatile players in the NBA, right? Like, if anybody is more versatile than Evan Mobley, it would be Draymond Green. So Draymond Green has a strong case in his own right, but you don't have to build the case by slandering or misrepresenting Evan Mobley. Now, to be fair, I think the Cavs kind of sucking for losing 4 in a row probably played a role in Evan Mobley like sliding down the rankings a little bit and Draymond Green catching up because the Warriors were playing really good. But now there's no Steph Curry. Maybe the Warriors struggle a bit. Maybe the Cavs end the year strong. There's also a degree of the media has to make this race interesting because if it's just Evan Mobley running away with the award, it's not that fun. So I don't know what to expect, but I'm definitely worried. And yeah, I have to pull up the cleaning the glass numbers again. But if I remember correctly, because I was looking at all these numbers when it was Evan Mobley versus Jaren Jackson Jr., and it looked like it was going to be between those two. I was looking at these numbers, and the Cavs are actually better defensively. The Cavs are, this is a weird stat that I wouldn't put too much into, but the Cavs are technically better on defense when Jarrett Allen isn't on the floor. They're like 0.3 points better. Now, that's stupid. We all know Jarrett Allen's a good defender. The Cavs, sometimes advanced analytics, you just have to use your eyeballs and your context because if you just try and use only advanced analytics, you'll be led astray on some things. The Cavs are better when Jarrett Allen is on the floor. I don't care what the net rating, what the defensive rating, I don't care what that says. But people use Jarrett Allen as kind of like an obstacle for Evan Mobley. They say, oh, well, Evan Mobley has Jarrett Allen behind him. It's not that impressive what he does. They're better when it's just Evan Mobley out there. They're actually better when it's Evan Mobley at center. So it's just stupid. It's really, really stupid. And so that's why you have to be careful with advanced stats. Like, and even just using team defensive rating, it's like, all right, I think the Cavs are 7th in defensive rating. The Warriors are 6th. If you're going to be like, oh, Draymond, we have to give Draymond the award because they're one place higher than the Cavs in defensive rating. It's like, okay, well then why don't you just give it to someone on OKC at that point? If you're going to go by who has the better team defense, why are you going to give it to the 6th or 7th best defense if that's your criteria? And if that's your criteria, why the hell did Evan Mobley not win 2 years ago when we were the best defense in the NBA and you gave it to Jaren Jackson Jr.? It's just silly. Yeah, Dr. Manhattan, that's what I'm rambling about. That's what I'm rambling about right now. Tim McMahon on the Hoop Collective said that teams are going to hunt Evan Mobley on defense, hunt him as a mismatch. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. Again, all due respect. I think Tim McMahon does good work. I think the Hoop Collective is more good than bad. They have more good takes than bad ones, but this was a bad take. This is a bad take, man. They're not hunting Evan Mobley because they think he's a weakness on defense. They're trying to pull Evan Mobley out the paint because it's a pick your poison thing. Would you rather have Evan Mobley blocking you at the rim, or do you want to try to pull him out on the perimeter and maybe have a chance of getting around him or moving the ball, and then he has to recover from the 3-point line to the paint? Like, it's just smart basketball. But it's really reductive to take that smart basketball play and be like, oh, they're targeting Evan Mobley because he's a weakness. No, dude. Also, you just gave Rudy Gobert has 4 defensive players of the year, and he literally does get targeted on defense. Like, he's every single playoffs he gets targeted on the perimeter. So explain that. And I know Rudy Gobert's a better rim protector, like by a lot. Rudy Gobert's a really, really good rim protector, but what logic does any of this make? Yeah, and the Kevin Durant jumper. I mean, this has been the case since he entered the NBA. You can't go one-on-one with Evan Mobley. Like, it's not a recipe for success trying to isolate on Evan Mobley. That is, I'll repeat it again because I think it's worth saying again. With all due respect to Tim McMahon and the Hoop Collective podcast, I think they do great work. I think more often than not, they have good takes and good analysis. I have not seen the full context of what McMahon said, so maybe I'm being harsh. I think you do good stuff, but that is a bad take. If you are talking about Evan Mobley being hunted and switches in context to the Defensive Player of the Year race, you are completely lost, my friend.